Hi, I'm Martin, and this is Ciclopista Heaven. Join me as I cycle through the heart of central and northern Portugal, taking in historic towns and cities and stunning scenery. I'm going to share the ups, downs, and challenges of exploring this beautiful country by bike. Hi everyone, and welcome to stage 8 of my tour. This is a story of two contrasting worlds. On the one hand, beautiful cycle tracks, on the other, broken paths and almost impassable muddy trails. But let's start on the bright side with the Ecopista de Vouga. At 65 kilometers, Portugal's longest Ecopista. Yesterday I travelled the first half from Viseu to Vouzela. Along this well-maintained and incredibly scenic track. You can see that story by clicking the link above. Today I'll be following the cycle path from Vouzela to Sernada de Vouga. From there I'll continue by bike to Aveiro and then take the train to Porto. Because the first half is former railway track, the profile is very smooth and it's mostly downhill. After only a few meters, one of the first highlights travelling the viaduct at Vouzela. The track passes by these traditional corn stores, or espigueiros. At Pinheiro de la Foix, there's another fine viaduct, and bizarrely, the track seems to cut a graveyard in two. Another highlight at Nespereira. Not big enough to be called a station, but it does have its own postbox. And a sign telling you to beware of the trains. Stop, look and listen, it says. Just like how we were taught to cross the road as children. As you may have seen in Stage 7's video, I have a healthy respect of tunnels. Luckily, I made a full and speedy recovery. After Cedrim, the landscape took on a more eerie and haunting character. It was the first time I'd seen the aftermath of a Portuguese forest fire at first hand. 2 years ago in July, this area had been hit by an intense fire. 300 firemen, 90 vehicles and 3 aircraft were deployed, desperately trying to control the blaze. Ironically, the eucalyptus trees, which burn so fiercely, seem to be the first to recover. final stretch of the Ecopista runs alongside the river Vouga, gently winding its way through the picturesque landscape. Before I knew it, we were already at Sernada de Vouga. It's theoretically possible to put the bike on the train here, but I wanted to cycle on to Aveiro. And it was the last stage of this journey that proved to be the most difficult. For instance, when the cycle track suddenly disappears. And the next is the craziest example I saw. For a stretch of 30 meters, the perfect cycle track was replaced by stones and rubble. I mean, come on guys, how stupid is that? Is it supposed to wake you up in case you were nodding off on your bike? Beyond Angeja, the track was waterlogged, so I had an adventurous detour through the woods. In retrospect, I think there would have been better paths to take. At this stage I was still too naive and trusted Google Maps' recommendation. Now I know better and I would use Komoot to plan the route. But finally I made it onto smoother ground, and it was only a few kilometers to the station at Aveiro. The station building has been lovingly restored, and I was happy to sit back and admire it as I waited for the train back to Porto. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.